of Education, and I'm your host for tonight's action-packed competition of the minds. 10 teams from around the state gathered at the AETN studios here in Conway today to vie for 4 coveted seats in the semifinal rounds, which you will see live tonight. But first, for the benefit of those not familiar with the game, let me briefly explain just how it's played. Quiz Bowl is played by some of Arkansas's brightest and most talented students. Each match consists of 4 rounds with a set number of questions in each quarter. The first 4 rounds have toss-up questions only. The second round has both toss-up and bonus questions. The third quarter is a lightning or 60-second round in which a category of questions is asked for each team. And as you will discover tonight, the depth and breadth of knowledge expounded by these students is quite impressive. This year, 243 teams signed up to participate in Quiz Bowl. That's about 70% of all the eligible schools in Arkansas. Competition is based on school population, and the teams are ranked in 4A, 3A, 2A, A, or B classifications. 27 regional tournaments were held on March 9th. The 8 top-scoring teams in each classification then advanced to the state classification tournaments held on April 7th. And that brings us to this point. The overall state championship tournament, which began today at 10 this morning and has continued throughout the day for the top 2 teams in each classification. We're now down to the final 4 teams that will play in the semifinal matches, and they are Benton, Rural Special, Huntsville, and Fort Smith Northside. Before we begin, let's introduce tonight's judges and the other officials. Sue Ashbaugh, she's a social studies teacher at Arkadelphia High School. Steve Patterson is an English teacher at Arkadelphia High, and they will judge tonight's matches. The all-star team and most valuable player judges are Bob Watson. He's a retired high school counselor from Arkadelphia. Cora Watson, also from Arkadelphia. And then there's Roger Evelyn, a gifted and talented coordinator and a social studies teacher at Pocahontas High School and an Arkansas Governor's Quiz Bowl Association member. Scorekeepers today are Bill Becker, current Arkansas Governor's Quiz Bowl Association president and a gifted and talented teacher at Kimmons Junior High in Fort Smith, and Suzanne Miner, the association's president-elect and a history teacher at Berryville High School. Kevin Lewis, AETN's coordinator of computer services, will be manning the electronic scoreboard. And now, I'll introduce the team players, the coaches, and alternates in tonight's first semifinal match. Stephen DeLaSousse is a senior. He will attend the University of Arkansas this fall on a Chancellor Scholarship and will major in computer systems. He's captain of his school tennis team, and he's an Eagle Scout. Team captain Jonathan Kelly is a junior who plans to pursue a career in financial consulting. He enjoys fly fishing, surfing the web, and he says just hanging out with his friends. Spencer Watson, also a junior. He enjoys reading, contemplating his philosophy of life, and delving into theology. Lisa Patterson, a junior at Benton, plans to attend college and pursue a career in biology or medicine. She serves as a volunteer counselor at day camp each summer. Lisa enjoys going to the movies, she says, hiking, and reading. Marshall Johnson is a senior at Benton. He plans to attend the University of Houston in the fall and major in pre-law. He enjoys playing basketball and golf and is a beginning bungee jumper. Linda Miller is coach of the Benton team. Charles R. Works Jr. He's a senior and he plans to join the Navy and become a firefighter or on an aircraft carrier. He enjoys horseback riding, hiking, and playing football. Slate Chisholm is a junior at Rural Special. He is a member of FBLA and Beta Club. His interests are playing basketball and reading. Jason Stewart is a junior who enjoys working with computers, and he is a member of the Beta Club and FBLA. Jessica Stewart is a sophomore. She's a member of the Beta Club, FBLA, FHA, and FFA. She enjoys reading and playing softball. Kenny Perry and Roger Hipp are the coaches. Let's give these kids applause. And our moderator tonight is Gene Parker. He is the Director of English, Foreign Languages, and Reading at the Little Rock School District Instructional Resource Center.
Thank you, Margaret. It's been a really exciting day here in the AETN studios, and now we're down to the final 4. Good luck to both teams. You know how the game is played. Let's get to it. First quarter. First toss-up. What quarterly magazine was an instrument of the Transcendental Movement? Benton, Jonathan.
Harper's Weekly.
No. Rural Special, do you have a response? No response from Rural Special. The answer is the Dial. Next toss-up, what city, the center of the Byzantine Empire, was conquered? Rural Special, Jason.
Constantinople.
Yes. Next toss-up, what is the unit of energy absorbed from ionizing radiation? Benton, Jonathan.
A becquerel.
No. Rural Special, do you have a response? No response from Rural Special. Rad. Next toss-up, what is the name of the intercellular liquid that contains leukocytes? Benton, Jonathan.
Cytoplasm.
No, let me complete for Rural Special, and is transported throughout the body by a special system. Rural Special, Slate.
Blood.
No, the correct answer is lymph. Next toss-up, which metrical foot consists of a stressed syllable followed by two unstressed syllables, as in the word argument? Rural Special, Jessica.
I didn't buzz.
No buzz? No response from either team. Benton, Lisa?
Trochee?
No, that's incorrect. Rural Special, a response? No response. The answer is dactyl. Next toss-up, in the Anglo-Saxon epic Beowulf, the title character, Benton, Jonathan.
Grendel.
Let me complete, please, for Rural Special. The title character pledges to defend the mead hall of what Danish king from the monster, Grendel? Rural Special, do you have a response? No response. Hrothgar. Next toss-up, what two future U.S. states were abandoned by Mexico in 1846? Benton, Stephen.
New Mexico and Arizona.
No. Rural Special, do you have a response? Rural Special, Jason.
Arizona and California.
No, it's New Mexico and California. Next toss-up, what is the cooling effect named after two physicists observed when a compressed gas is allowed to expand rapidly through a small opening? No response. It's known as the Joule-Thomson effect. Next toss-up, this is computational. How many grams of a substance are left after 48 minutes if a 100-gram substance has a half-life of 12 minutes? Benton, Jonathan.
12.5 grams.
No. Rural Special, do you have a response? Rural Special, Jason.
6.25.
Yes. Next toss-up. What Georgia-born author of the 20th century wrote about the plight of Southern farmers in his novel Tobacco Road? Benton, Jonathan.
Erskine Caldwell.
Yes. Next toss-up. What naturalized British author originally born in St. Louis wrote 4 quartets and the love song of J. Alfred? Benton, Jonathan.
T.S. Eliot.
Yes. Next toss-up. What poet and novelist lived from 1840 to 1928 and wrote the poem Hat and the novel The Mayor of Casterbridge? Benton, Jonathan.
Hardy.
Yes. Next toss-up. What type of acid is made with a carbon atom backbone? Benton, Jonathan.
Organic.
Yes. Next toss-up. Which man composed both the Pearl Fishers? Benton, Lisa.
Bizet.
Bizet, yes. Next toss-up. What was the name of the first programmable computer built by J. Presper Eckert and John Mauchly at the University of Pennsylvania after World War II? No response from either team. ENIAC. Next toss-up. What was the name of the first steamboat constructed by Robert Fulton? Rural Special, Jason.
Claremont.
Yes. Next toss-up. Who was the disciple named by Jesus who was also called the Rock? Rural Special, Slate.
Peter.
Yes. Next toss-up. What structure of a unicellular animal is commonly long and solitary and propels the cell through its fluid? Benton, Lisa.
Flagellum.
Yes. Next toss-up. What man began the Bauhaus Architecture School? Benton, Jonathan.
Gropius.
Yes. Next toss-up. What man was proclaimed German emperor before an assembly of German princes and other dignitaries in the Hall of Mirrors at the Palace of Versailles on January 18, 1871? Benton, Stephen.
William the First.
Yes. And that brings us to the end of the first quarter of play. Exciting and fast-paced quarter. At the end of the first quarter, the score stands 80 points for Benton, 40 points for Rural Special. We will continue now with the second quarter of play. As you know, the second quarter is composed of both toss-up questions and bonus questions for those teams who answer their toss-ups correctly. First toss-up. Who made the first quantum model of the hydrogen atom which successfully explained the wavelength of the spectral lines? Benton, Lisa.
Maxwell.
No. Rural Special, do you have a response? No response. Bohr, Niels Bohr. Next toss-up. What artist of the Baroque period painted Supper at Emmaus and The Night Watch? Benton, Lisa.
Rembrandt.
Yes, and you have earned for your team a bonus. Your bonus category is American authors. Identify the American authors of the following works. East of Eden.
Steinbeck.
Yes. The Unvanquished. Answer, please.
Faulkner.
Yes. Walden.
Thoreau.
Yes. On the Road.
Kerouac.
Kerouac.
Yes. You've answered all four correctly. Next toss-up. Between AD 66 and AD 70, what man led two revolts of Jews against Roman rule? Benton, Lisa.
Spartacus.
No. Rural Special, do you have a response? And no response? Simon Bar Kokhba. Simon Bar Kokhba. Next toss-up, this is computational. If right triangle, ABC, has a hypotenuse of length 13 and side C of length of 7, what is the length of side B? Benton, Stephen.
2 square root of 5.
No. Rural Special, do you have a response? No response from Rural Special. Square root of 120 or 10.95. Next toss-up, what is the largest lake on the continent of Africa? Rural Special, Jason.
Lake Victoria.
Yes, and you have earned a bonus for your team. Your bonus category is U.S. laws. In which year was each of the following laws passed? Taft-Hartley Act. Answer, please.
1909.
No. Pendleton Act.
1883.
Yes. Open Housing Act. Alien and Sedition Acts.
1803.
No. The Taft-Hartley Act was passed in 1947, Open Housing Act in 1968, and the Alien and Sedition Acts in 1798. Next toss-up. Who said existence precedes essence? Benton, Jonathan.
Descartes.
No. Rural Special, do you have a response? No response from Rural Special. Sartre, or Sartre. Sartre. Next toss-up. Who won his greatest victory against the Austrians and Russians at Austerlitz? Benton, Stephen. Answer, please.
Horatio Nelson.
No. Rural Special, do you have an answer? No answer from Rural Special. Napoleon. Next toss-up. What character is described as a moon calf, a thing of darkness, a born devil, and a monster in Shakespeare's play, The Tempest? Benton, Jonathan.
Miranda.
No. Rural Special, do you have an answer? No answer from Rural Special. Caliban. Next toss-up. Sternutation is the act of doing what? No answer from either team. It's the act of sneezing. Next toss-up. What was the last major military victory for George Washington? Benton, Spencer.
Yorktown.
Yes, the Battle of Yorktown. And that brings us to the end of the second quarter of play. And at the end of the second... Oh, yes, that's right. You get a bonus. I was hurrying us through. And your category is Science and Studies. Given a field of study, name the scientific study. Lakes.
Limnology.
Limnology.
Yes. Poisons.
Toxicology.
Toxicology.
Yes. Tissues.
Histology.
Histology.
Yes. The age of trees.
Dendrochronology.
Dendrochronology.
Yes. All right. That brings us to the end of the second quarter of play. At the end of the second quarter, the score is 140 points for Benton, 55 points for Rural Special. We're going to pause from play in just a moment, but first let me give the categories that we'll be playing from when we return to the third quarter. Science terms, given a definition, name the term defined. Presidents and vice presidents, given a vice president, name the president under which he served. Or presidential dates, given an event, tell who was president of the United States when that event began. Which categories will they choose? We'll find out in just a few minutes.
Susan Howarth is the Executive Director of AETN. Susan, you've been here a while. I guess you've seen a number of these quiz bowls come and go.
I have, Margaret, and they're always very, very exciting, and we're so pleased here at AETN to be able to bring Quiz Bowl to the viewers throughout Arkansas every year.
And we have lots of parents in the audience tonight. Has that been a mainstay?
Oh, yes, absolutely. We have lots of folks who come to the studio and watch their various teams and root for them, and it gets pretty exciting.
So you've had teams here all this morning. What's it been like around here?
Well, I wasn't here first thing this morning, but I hear it's been pretty wild, and we've had some really good matches leading up to the semifinals that we're enjoying live today. We've been doing this for 14 years now, and AETN's been involved ever since the beginning, so we're really pleased and excited to be able to continue to bring this program to the viewers.
I would imagine it takes quite a bit of effort to pull all of this together. I mean, when do you start working on putting it together?
Well, I think it's basically a year-long effort, but they start in the studios setting up about a week beforehand and testing out the systems, making sure the buzzers work and all of that, and working on all the videos, so it's really quite a commitment.
You know, you can't help but try to quiz yourself while you're doing this. I haven't been doing that great. I've known a few things.
I was going to ask you, but I wasn't going to fess up yet about how few I knew the answers to.
The kids are doing great.
Oh, they're terrific,
it's
aren't
impressive,
they?
isn't it?
It really is.
Yeah, it gives me a good feeling.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Me too.
Well, let's go back to the quiz master. Jean?
All right. Thank you, Margaret. And we're ready now to find out what those categories are going to be as we resume with the third quarter category rounds. With a score at 55, Rural Special, you get to choose first from the three categories, and what is your pleasure?
Presidential dates.
Presidential dates it is. Given an event, tell who was President of the United States when that event began. Start the clock. Civil War.
Lincoln.
Yes. War of 1812.
Madison.
Yes. XYZ affair.
Adams.
Yes. Aroostook War.
Jackson.
No. Mormons found Deseret.
Polk.
No. Era of Good Feeling.
Monroe.
Yes. Potsdam Conference.
Roosevelt.
No. U-2 captured.
Eisenhower.
Yes. Gulf of Tonkin resolution passed.
Johnson.
Yes. Locarno Peace Conference.
Reagan.
No. All right, judges, I know that Mormons found Deseret they answered correctly. That is Polk. But they turned over to Benton, numbers 4, 7, and 10. Is that correct? All right. Benton, you get an opportunity to respond to these three. Given an event, tell who was President of the United States when that event began. The Aroostook War,
Van Buren.
Yes. Potsdam Conference?
Franklin Roosevelt.
No. And Locarno Peace Conference?
Franklin Roosevelt.
No. The Potsdam Conference under Truman and Locarno Peace Conference, Coolidge. And now, Benton, it's your turn to choose from the two remaining categories.
Okay.
Those categories are science terms or presidents and vice presidents.
We're going to take presidents and vice presidents.
All right, that was a good choice for me. Given a vice president, name the president under which he served. Start the clock. Henry A. Wallace.
Franklin Roosevelt.
FDR.
Yes. Thomas Marshall.
Taft.
No. Eldridge Gary.
Madison.
Okay.
Madison.
Yes. Andrew Jackson.
Quincy Adams.
No. Henry Wilson.
Grant.
Grant.
Yes. William Alman Wheeler.
Hayes.
Hayes.
Yes. Theodore Roosevelt.
McKinley.
McKinley.
Yes. Calvin Coolidge.
Harding.
Harding.
Yes. Richard Nixon.
Eisenhower.
Eisenhower.
Yes. George Bush.
Reagan.
Yes. And it looks like they got 8 out of 10. Is that correct, judges? Turning over numbers 2 and 4 to Rural Special. In Rural Special, you get an opportunity. Given a vice president, name the president under which he served. Thomas Marshall.
Truman.
No. Andrew Jackson.
Monroe.
No. Thomas Marshall Wilson and Andrew Jackson Van Buren. And that brings us to the end of the third quarter of play. We'll go on now to the fourth and final quarter, if there are no substitutions.
Yes.
Oh, we will pause. There is a challenge. There is a challenge. Both teams have the opportunity to challenge. right, we're back after discussing a challenge. Of course, the stakes are high this evening, and our teams are on their feet, and they caught the fact that Andrew Jackson never served as Van Buren's vice president. So Benton's team will get another question, and your question is, I'll name a president, and you name the state or colony of his birth. Ronald Reagan.
California.
No. That means that Rural Special will have the opportunity to answer that question. I'll name a president and you name the state or colony of his birth. Ronald Reagan.
Illinois.
Illinois is correct, yes. All right. With that challenge having been taken care of, we are now ready to move on to the fourth and final quarter of play. At this time, the score stands at 230 points for Benton to 135 points for Rural Special. It's a very good game. Anything can happen in the fourth quarter. First toss-up. What is the longest novel of Henry James in an American setting which features the characters Olive Chancellor, Adeline Lima, and Basil Random? Benton, Jonathan.
Bostonians.
Yes, next toss-up. Whose birthday is nationally celebrated on October 2nd in India? Benton, Jonathan.
Gandhi.
Yes, next toss-up. In which Shakespearean play would one find the characters Antipholus of Syracuse? Rural Special, Jason.
Comedy of Errors.
Yes, next toss-up. What silvery white metal of the alkali metal group must be stored in an oxygen-free liquid and has the symbol K? Benton, Lisa.
Potassium.
Yes, next toss-up. What United States president had 14 children and succeeded William Henry Harrison? Benton, Stephen.
John Tyler.
Yes, next toss-up. Who in 1932 received the Nobel Prize in Physics and formulated the principle of uncertainty? Benton, Stephen.
Heisenberg.
Yes, next toss-up. What female in Greek mythology competed with Athena in a weaving contest? Benton, Spencer.
Arachne.
Yes. From next toss-up. From what African country is Kofi Annan, the current Benton, Jonathan?
Ghana.
Yes, next toss-up. What element of the periodic table was discovered by Sir William Ramsay and Morris Benton, Jonathan?
Lanthanum.
No, let me complete for Rural Special. And Morris W. Travers is a noble gas and has the symbol XE. Rural Special, Slate.
Xenon.
Yes, next toss-up. The Song of the Three Holy Children, Ecclesiasticus, Tobit, and Esdras 1 and 2 are part of what group of books in the Vulgate? Benton, Jonathan.
The Pentateuch.
No. Rural Special, do you have a response? No response from Rural Special. Apocrypha. Apocrypha. Next toss-up. What planet of the solar system was the first to be discovered by its effects on other planets? Rural Special, Jason.
Venus.
No. Benton, do you have a response? Benton, Stephen.
Jupiter.
No, it's Neptune. Next toss-up. What Russian czar was in power at the time the Monroe Doctrine was issued by President James Madison? Benton, Spencer.
Peter the Great.
No. Rural Special, Jason.
Ivan the Terrible.
No, Alexander the First. Alexander the First. In what cellular organelle does the citric acid cycle? Benton, Jonathan.
Mitochondria.
Yes. Next toss-up. What is the term for mosaics made with glass? Benton, Jonathan. Answer, please.
Inlays.
No. Rural Special, do you have a response? No response from Rural Special. It's tesserae or tessera. Next toss-up. What French monarch assassinated in 1610 issued the Edict of Nantes? Benton, Stephen.
Henry IV.
Yes. Next toss-up. From what work by Giovanni Boccaccio? Benton, Jonathan.
The Decameron.
Yes. Next toss-up. What English economist in 1890 published his textbook, Principles? Rural Special, Jason.
Smith.
No. Let me complete for Benton. Principles of Economics. A response from Benton. Alfred Marshall. Alfred Marshall. Next toss-up. What Greek writer who lived during the 5th century B.C. penned the works Ajax, Electra, and Oedipus Rex? Benton, Jonathan.
Sophocles.
Yes. Next toss-up. In biology, what is the name of the horizontal underground stems, which sometimes... Benton, Jonathan.
Rhizomes.
Yes. Next toss-up. This is computational. Convert the Roman numeral MM, D, CC, L, XXX, III. Benton, Spencer.
2,783.
Yes. to Arabic numbers. And that brings us to the end of the fourth and final quarter of play. At the end of the game, the score stands at 155 points for Rural Special, 360 points for Benton. This was a great game. We'll pause for a few minutes to let the excitement continue to build before we continue with our next game.
And Brenda Mathews with the Department of Education joins us now. Brenda, you've coordinated a number of these over the years, and I would imagine that you've seen lots of students come and go. Is there a typical Quiz Bowl student, or are there any that kind of stand out?
Oh, heavens no. I worked with this program for 10 years. The very first time we offered the Arkansas Quiz Bowl was in 1985. At that time, we started with 114 teams. And you heard earlier in the introduction, I believe that they held it this year for 243.
Growing.
The most outstanding thing throughout all of those years were the students, because, no, there wasn't a typical one. There were many different personalities, many different backgrounds. We had international teams sometimes. I mean, it was really a phenomenon just to watch the kids each year. I had one occurrence one time when somebody asked me, well, why aren't there more girls that participate? And I said, well, I can't really tell you that. And he was wanting me to say that girls weren't as competitive.
No,
and I said, no,
that can't be true.
Not true. The next part of it that I remember the most were the coaches. These are special teachers because they give all of their spare time that they have to these kids. They practice after school on weekends. They start in the summer. And the Rural Specials coaches here today were working with me 10 years ago. The Fort Smith Northside coach was working here 10 years ago. 14 years ago now. I'm forgetting the last 4 years. These are just people that you don't ever forget because they have given so much to education in Arkansas and to the young people of the state. Now, I do have a few students, I'm sorry, that I do remember well, and they would bring their teams back year after year. There was one in particular from Berryville, a young man that it didn't matter what you asked, he always knew the answer. There was a young man from Huntsville that was absolutely phenomenal. There were several from Fort Smith Northside through the years that I remember well. There was a young man from Arkadelphia who was just terrific. And some of these students I hear from still today.
That's great. Well, tell me this. How does a student get ready for Quiz Bowl? I would imagine you have to be a good student anyway, but are we talking about hours and hours of research time at the library after homework hours, or?
Well, actually, it depends on how the coach wants to go about preparing the team. A lot of these young people walk around with as much information in their heads. They read prolifically. The ones that I really noticed through the years that were the better Quiz Bowl students were the ones that just seemed to read all the time. Many of them do start practicing in the summer. Many of them start after school. They do library research. They'll be assigned certain categories that they're supposed to be the experts on. I assume coaches still work the same way because it's been pretty successful through the years.
All right, Brenda, thank you for your time.
Oh, you're more than welcome.
Now, talking about getting ready for Quiz Bowl, let's take a look at Benton High School and how they're getting their team ready, how they did it.
All right. Quiz Bowl is very mental. You have to stay mentally focused.
We have to train our minds just like anybody who plays sports has to train their body.
They learn so much. They don't just memorize facts. Kids come to practice 3 times a week. We take the highest scores from each practice. They are required to attend at least 80% of the practices. Of course, they cannot get points if they're not at practice. And then I select them for the categories, the kinds of information they know, the academic information that they're competent in, and the kids who can get the most points.
Quiz Bowl gives you that mental edge over your peers, and you know you have the mental capabilities to outsmart your opponent. Quiz Bowl brings out the fire in you, and so when you do everything you do, you want to be the best, so you try to do everything to the best of your capability.
Besides just the information that I've learned a lot about competition and how to be a good sportsman. I've learned that it's not easy to get ahead, and you really have to work hard to achieve what you want.
It's kind of like a family, and you get to know everybody, and you go on trips with everybody, and you learn stuff about everybody. It's just really fun, and I've always liked competition.
For many of the kids, the benefits are academic. For many of them, it's being able to see themselves in a different perspective, to be able to see that they can do something that they might not have thought they could do. It's a good esteem builder for the kids who are successful, because they are respected by other students in a way that sometimes they've never been respected before.
When we won, there's no other feeling like it. It's really great. I mean, you just feel wonderful. You want to give the world a big hug.
It's an adrenaline rush, and sometimes, you know, how the sports players say they get in the zone, well, sometimes I feel like I'm in the zone, that I'm not going to lose, I'm not going to miss a question, that every time I buzz in, I'm going to get it right. I want to be like Michael Jordan.
And I have some special people I'd like you to meet. Bill Becker is the current president of the Arkansas Governor's Quiz Bowl Association, and Suzanne is the president-elect. Bill, let's start with you. How was the association formed?
Well, the association was formed about 4.5 years ago when the State Department decided they were no longer going to organize and fund the Quiz Bowl tournaments that were taking place at that time. The Quiz Bowl coaches got together and decided that we would keep it running, and we formed a bylaws and constitution and have been searching for money to continue to do this.
And so it has been reorganized.
Right, completely. Well, not completely. The game is still basically the same. However, we did change some things according to what the coaches wanted. We've surveyed the coaches and found out that they would rather have 10 points for each question in the last quarter instead of 20 points, and we did some things to help clarify some rules about the third quarter. But mostly it's been pretty much the same as it was.
Okay, thank you. Suzanne, I want to ask you, what about plans for the association for next year?
Well, one of the things we really want to accomplish is to get a lot more participation and to have more opportunities for kids to compete. So one of the things we did this year was to say that a team up to this level could consist of 8 players and have more than one alternate coming in. And we've also been talking and really trying to plan for having more competitions in the future. One of the things we've also done is to have, in our regional tournaments and our state classification tournaments, have 3 preliminary games instead of just starting off right off the bat with single elimination, because that's no fun. Kids don't want to come and play one game and go home.
Of course not.
So at the regional tournaments, everyone gets to play at least 3 games, and most teams play 4.
Now, I would imagine that it's a monumental task putting it together.
Yes. We spent a lot of time this year on helping everyone understand what is going on. We put together a handbook with rules, with suggestions, with how to coach, with a lot of information to train coaches and players and ourselves as we went along.
You did a good job.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. And I'd like to introduce the teams for this upcoming round. The Huntsville team, we have Brandy Gregg. She's a junior and she has hopes of attending the University of Arkansas when she graduates. Her hobbies include reading and playing the clarinet. Also on the Huntsville team, Nathan Sharp is a junior, and he's a member of the National Honor Society in the school band. He enjoys history and computers. Huntsville's Jessica Alexander is a junior. She plays the clarinet, and she's a member of the school color guard. She hopes to attend Texas A&M, and she plans to major in marine biology. Also on the Huntsville team, Kerry Miller is a senior at Huntsville. He plans to attend the University of Arkansas at Fayetteville. He's going to stay home. He plays the trumpet in the school band, and he enjoys soccer. Giselle Davidson on the Huntsville team is a sophomore. Her future goals include becoming a lawyer. Her interests include writing poetry and stories, drawing, and reading. Steve Harwood on the Huntsville team, he is the coach, along with Bill Epperson. On the Fort Smith Northside team, Daniel Hasman is valedictorian of his senior class and the Arkansas ambassador to the Hugh O'Brien Youth Leadership Congress. He will attend the University of Arkansas at Fayetteville, majoring in international economics. Team captain Evan McLemore is a junior. Excuse me, Evan, you're a senior. He's a senior this year. He has attended the Arkansas Governor's School, and he plans to attend the University of Central Arkansas as a presidential scholarship recipient. Neil Johnson from the Northside team is a senior and an Arkansas Governor's School graduate. He will attend the University of Arkansas at Fayetteville on a Chancellor Scholarship and major in chemistry. Kitu from Northside is ranked first in his junior class. He is a member of the National Honor Society and co-president of the Latin Honor Society. He will attend Arkansas Governor's School this summer. Villapan Dolpina is ranked third in her junior class. She is a member of the Youth Volunteer Council and the National Honor Society, and the Fort Smith Northside coach is Larry Jones. And we're going back to the Quizmaster.
All right, the excitement is continuing to build as we prepare for this game between Huntsville and Northside. All of you know how the game is played. Good luck to both teams. First quarter of play comprised of toss-up questions only. First toss-up question. What is this chemical element discovered spectroscopically by Robert Bunsen and Gustav Kirchhoff in 1861, occurs in lepidolites, and is an alkali metal with the chemical symbol Rb? Northside, Neil.
Rubidium.
Rubidium. Next toss-up. What African American did Jesse Helms defeat in 1996 to win re-election to the U.S. Senate? No response from either team. Harvey Gantt. Harvey Gantt. Next toss-up. What is the current name of the city founded in 1839 as Waterloo, which became the state capital in 1870 and is the seat of Travis County? Northside, Neil.
Shreveport.
No. Huntsville, do you have a response? And no response from Huntsville. Austin. Austin. Next toss-up. Convert pi over 3. Northside, Kai.
60 degrees.
Yes. Next toss-up. What English Romantic poet died at age of 25 in Rome of tuberculosis? Huntsville, Brandy.
Byron.
No. Let me complete. In 1821. Northside, Daniel.
Pope.
No, John Keats. John Keats. Next toss-up. What holiday is celebrated on July 12th in Northern Ireland? Northside, Neil.
Feast of St. Stephen's.
No. Huntsville, do you have a response? No response from Huntsville. Orangeman's Day. Orangeman's Day. Next toss-up. This is computational. Find the distance between 4, -6, and 1, 2. Northside, Neil.
That is going to be the square root of 41.
No. Huntsville, do you have a response? Huntsville, Brandy.
5.
No. Square root of 73. Next toss-up. Which of John Irving's novels ends with Coach Bob knew it all along? You've got to get obsessed and stay obsessed. You have to keep passing the open windows. No response from either team. That's from the Hotel New Hampshire. Next toss-up. What are negatively charged beta? Northside, Kai.
Cat Islands.
Repeat, please.
Cat Islands.
No. Let me complete for Huntsville. Beta particles called. Response? Huntsville, Brandy?
Anions.
No, negatrons. Negatrons. Next toss-up. What men's team won the soccer gold medal at the 1996 Summer Olympics? Huntsville, Evan. Northside, Evan, excuse me.
Brazil.
No. Huntsville, do you have a response? Huntsville, Carey.
Italy.
No, it's Nigeria. Nigeria. Next toss-up. What is the name of the 100-eyed giant? Northside, Kai.
Argus.
Yes. Next toss-up. How many inches make up a pace? Northside, Neil.
8.
No. Huntsville, do you have a response? Huntsville, Nathan.
12.
No, it's 30 inches. Next toss-up. What one word can mean both a small natural stream or to put up with, endure, tolerate? No response from either team. Brook. Brook. Next toss-up. What Russian cellist, pianist, and conductor has been described as that magnificent cellist who looks very much like a bank clerk, but plays like an angel? Northside, Neil.
Rachmaninoff.
No. Huntsville, you have a response? No response from Huntsville. It's Rostropovich. Rostropovich. Next toss-up. Using his regnal number, identify the Russian Tsar whose forces were defeated in the Battle of Austerlitz. Huntsville, Nathan.
Alexander the First.
Yes. Next toss-up. This is computational. A ball is released from rest and falls a distance of 600 meters. Considering the acceleration due to gravity to be 9.8 m/s and neglecting air resistance in seconds to 1 decimal place, how long in seconds does it take for the ball to hit the ground? Northside, Kai. Answer, please.
6 seconds.
No. Huntsville. Huntsville, Brandy.
5.1 seconds.
No, it's 11.1 seconds. Next toss-up, the properties of which layer of the atmosphere make it possible to transmit Northside, Neil?
The ionosphere.
Yes. Next toss-up, which of his daughters did Agamemnon sacrifice? Huntsville, Jessica.
Iphigenia.
Yes. Next toss-up, what is the popular name for the case officially known as the New York Times Company versus United States? Huntsville, Nathan.
New York Times versus Sullivan.
No, let me complete for Northside. Versus United States, 1971. Northside, Daniel.
U.S. versus Nixon.
No, it's the Pentagon Papers case. Next toss-up, which poet wrote Water, Water Everywhere? Northside, Daniel.
Coleridge.
Yes, Coleridge. And that brings us to the end of the first quarter of play. And at the end of the first quarter, the score stands at 20 points for Huntsville and 50 points for Northside. We'll pause for a moment to allow for substitution. All right, we're ready to resume play now. Going into our second quarter, let me welcome Giselle to Huntsville's team. Second quarter, as you know, is made up of both toss-up questions and bonus questions. Your first toss-up is, what scientist astounded the world when he announced that he had produced a fully formed, perfectly healthy mammal born from a single adult cell? Northside, Neil.
McConaughey.
No. Huntsville, do you have a response? No response from Huntsville. Wilmot, Dr. Wilmot. Next toss-up, from which Broadway musical do the numbers Do You Hear the People Sing, Master of the House, and I Dreamed a Dream come? Northside, Evan.
Rent.
No. Huntsville, do you have a response? No response from Huntsville. Les Miserables, or Les Mis. Next toss-up, Dance of the Comedians comes from which better she... Northside, Daniel.
Smetana's Bartered Bride.
Yes, that is correct. Next toss-up, what name is given to this feature? Oh, that's right, you get a bonus. I was so shocked that you knew a Smetana opera. Your bonus category is math. Given a number, identify that number's cube root.
Okay.
Cube root.
729.
729.
9.
Yeah. 9.
Yes. 27.
33.
3.
Yes. 343.
3.7. 7. Yeah. 7.
Yes. 2197.
2197. 13? No. Yeah. Yeah, go 13. 13?
Yes. You have gotten all four correct. And our next toss-up is, what name is given to this feature of Jupiter's upper atmosphere, which appears Northside, Neil?
The Great Red Spot.
Yes, and you have earned another toss-up, another bonus for your team. This time your category is U.S. presidents. Given a nickname of a president, name the president.
Okay.
His rotundity.
Taft.
No, Old Hickory.
Jackson. Jackson.
Yes, Old Rough and Ready.
TR.
No.
Oh, no.
Somebody is Taylor.
That's right. I'm sorry. Taylor?
Yes, Young Hickory.
Oh, that's after Jackson.
Who's the Jackson protege?
Answer, please.
Tyler Van Buren.
Go for it. Van Buren.
No. His rotundity is John Adams, and Young Hickory is James K. Polk. And our next toss-up, this is computational. What must be added to x squared plus 8x? Huntsville, Nathan.
16.
Yes, and you have earned a bonus for your team. Your category is architects. Identify the architects of the following buildings or monuments. Monument to the Third International. Answer, please.
Sullivan.
No, the Vietnam Memorial. Answer, please. No answer. Guggenheim Museum.
Frank Lloyd Wright.
Yes. And the St. Louis Gateway Arch.
Fuller.
No. The monument to the Third International is Tatlin. Vietnam Memorial Lynn, and St. Louis Gateway Arch is Saarinen. And our next toss-up is, what is the second largest satellite of Jupiter? Northside, Huntsville, Nathan.
Io.
Repeat, please.
Io.
No. Northside, do you have a response? Northside, Daniel.
Ganymede.
Oh, it's Europa. Europa. Next toss-up, of the families of strings, basses, strings, brass, woodwinds, and percussion, to which does the euphonum, Northside, Daniel?
Brass.
Yes, and you have earned a bonus for your team. Your category is places in the world. Identify these places in the world from the descriptions given. The country formed following a civil war between East and West Pakistan by what had formerly been East Pakistan.
Bangladesh.
Yes. The mountainous, landlocked country located between China and India, whose people are Tibetan, Nepalese, or Hindu origin.
Nepal, Bhutan, Nepal.
No. A volcanic island republic in the Windward Islands in the eastern Caribbean Sea, which has dense forests.
No. Republic.
Answer, please.
Jamaica.
No. A poor landlocked republic in north-central Africa whose highest peaks are in the Air Massif and only river is in the southwest region of this country. Answer, please.
Central African Republic.
No. The mountainous landlocked country between China and India is Bhutan or Bhutan. The volcanic island republic in the Windward Islands is Dominica, and the poor landlocked republic in north-central Africa is Niger. And that brings us to the end of our second quarter of play, all 4 bonus questions having been asked and answered. And at the end of the second quarter, the score stands at 115 points for Northside, 35 points for Huntsville, and we will be back in just a moment. But first, before we leave, let me give the 3 categories from which our players will choose for the third quarter. The 3 categories are NBA MVPs. Name the NBA most valuable player from the year and team for which the player played. Biology terms, given a definition of a biology term, give the term. Or Shakespeare characters, given characters from a Shakespearean play, name the play. Which ones will they choose? We'll know in just a few minutes. All right, we're back and ready to begin the third quarter of play, known as the lightning round. Huntsville, you have the lower score, so you get to choose first from the following three categories: NBA MVPs, biology terms, or Shakespeare characters. Which one of these?
Shakespeare characters.
Shakespeare characters. It is. All right. Given characters from a Shakespearean play, name the play. Start the clock. Rosalind, Orlando, Touchstone, Oliver, and Ganymede.
How do you like it?
Yes. Helena and Bertram.
Oswald and Info.
Yes. Angelo, Duke, Vincentio, Claudio.
Much Ado About Nothing.
Much Ado About Nothing.
No. Dromio, Amelia, and Aegean.
Comedy of Errors.
Yes. Sebastian, Viola, Orsino, Olivia, Malvolio, and Sir Toby.
Twelfth Night.
Yes. Proteus, Valentine, Sylvia, Julia.
Two Gentlemen of Verona.
Yes. Ferdinand of Navarre, Byron, Longaville.
Love,
Labor's Lost.
Yes. Beatrice and Benedict.
Much Ado About Nothing.
Much Ado About Nothing.
Yes. Polyncetes, Leontes, and Hermione.
Titus Andronicus.
No. Prospero, Miranda, Antonio.
Tempest.
Yes. And it looks like, judges, that they answered 8 of the 10 correctly, turning over to Northside numbers 3 and 10. Is that correct? 3 and 9, yes, 3 and 9. All right, Northside, you get an opportunity to respond to 2 of these questions. Given characters from a Shakespearean play, name the play. These are the characters: Angelo, Duke, Vincentio, or Claudio.
Measure for Measure.
Yes, and Polyncetes, Leontes, and Hermione.
Midsummer Night's Dream.
A Midsummer's Night's Dream.
No, that one is Winter's Tale. Winter's Tale. And we're now ready to move to you. You get to choose from the remaining 2 categories of biology terms or NBA MVPs.
We would like biology, please.
Biology terms it is. Given a definition of a biology term, give the term. Start the clock. Name the theory that states that specialized structures of individuals develop step by step from unspecialized antecedents in eggs.
Lamarck's.
No. What is the name given to a chronic inflammatory skin disorder characterized by inflammation and scaly plaques?
Psoriasis.
Yes. What name is given to physical behavior or resemblance of one species to another in order to benefit itself or both?
Mimicry.
Yes. What name is given to 22,000 species of small plants, such as mosses, that grow in most areas in soil, tree trunks, and rocks?
Bryophytes.
Yes. What is the chemical term for a bloody nose?
Pass.
What is the study of human heredity aimed at improving genetic quality called?
Eugenics.
Yes. What name is given to all multicellular organisms that digest food, including sponges and higher animals?
Heterotrophs.
No. What term is given to the accumulation of fluid in tissue as in inflammation or swelling?
Abscess.
No. What is the process also known as physiological adaptation, by which an organism becomes better adapted to exist? And we've run out of time on that one. Judges, I have that they answered 2, 3, 4, and 6 correctly and turned over to Huntsville numbers 1, 5, 7, and 8. Is that correct? All right, Huntsville, you get the opportunity to respond to these. Given a definition of a biology term, give the term. Name the theory that states that specialized structures of individuals develop step by step from unspecialized antecedents in eggs. Answer, please.
I don't know.
No answer. What is the chemical term for a bloody nose? Answer, please.
Rhinorrhea.
No. What name is given to all multicellular organisms that digest food, including sponges and higher animals? Answer, please. No answer. What term is given to the accumulation of fluid in tissue as in inflammation or swelling? Answer, please. And no answer. All right. The theory that states that specialized structures of individuals develop step by step is epigenesis. The chemical term for bloody nose is epistaxis. The name given to all multicellular organisms that digest food, metazoa, and the term given to the accumulation of fluid in tissue is edema. And that brings us to the end of the third quarter of play. And at the end of the third quarter of play, the score stands at 115 points for Huntsville and 165 points for Northside. We're ready now to pause for a moment to allow for a substitute before we go on with the fourth and final quarter of play. We're back now, and there has been a challenge. As you know, the stakes are high this evening, and the teams are all really on their toes. What they're playing for is very important tonight, and the judge is going to share with us what that challenge was and how they have ruled.
They used a name that is synonymous with the name that we had for the answer, so we're going to allow them number 7 on their biology terms to Northside.
All right. Metazoa, and they used a synonym for...
Yes.
Yes, all right. So that increases Northside scores, and we are now ready to go on with the fourth and final quarter of play. Again, teams, this quarter is comprised strictly of toss-up questions. Good luck to both teams. First toss-up, this is computational. State the discriminant of the quadratic equation 3x squared minus 8x plus 12 equals 0. Northside, Evan.
Huh? I didn't buzz. I buzzed in.
Release the buzzer. Northside, Neil.
Negative 80.
Negative 80. Yes. Next toss-up. What one word can mean both a coarsely made shoe of untanned hide or a thick or rough Irish or Scottish accent? Northside, Neil.
Cockney.
No, let me complete for Huntsville. In the pronunciation of English. Huntsville, do you have a response? No response from Huntsville. Brogue. Brogue. Next toss-up. Goa, now a part of India, previously was a possession of what European? Northside, Daniel.
Portugal.
Yes, next toss-up. In what month do Indonesians celebrate Muhammad's birthday? Northside, Daniel.
March.
No, Huntsville, do you have a response? Huntsville, Nathan.
August.
No, the correct answer is June. Next toss-up, what is the nickname of the NBA team based in Vancouver? Northside, Evan.
The Grizzlies.
Yes, Grizzlies. Next toss-up, this is computational. The base of a triangle is 3 times the length of the altitude to that base. The area of the triangle is 96 cm squared. Find the length of the base. Huntsville, Brandy.
84.
No. Northside, you have a response? Northside, Kai.
24.
Yes.
Good job.
Next toss-up, 10 Days That Shook the World was written by Northside Daniel.
Reed.
Yes. Next toss-up. Dennis Diderot's efforts to produce encyclopedia inspired English and Scottish writers to produce what multi-volumed work in the 1770s? Northside, Evan.
Encyclopedia Britannica.
Yes. Next toss-up. How many liters of oxygen will be needed to burn 100 liters of carbon monoxide? Huntsville, Nathan.
200.
Repeat,
200.
please. No? Northside, do you have a response? Northside, Neil.
100 liters.
No, 50 liters. Next toss-up, what is the name of the savage rescued from cannibals by the Northside, Neil?
Alexander Selkirk.
No, let me complete for Huntsville. By the title character in Daniel Defoe's Robinson Crusoe. Huntsville, Brandy.
Friday.
Yes, next toss-up. The Peace of Christmas Eve is a name used to refer to what treaty in American history? Northside, Neil.
Treaty of Ghent.
Yes, next toss-up. What female American artist spent most of her later life painting at Huntsville, Jessica?
O'Keeffe.
Yes, next toss-up. Which poet wrote, about suffering they were never wrong, the old masters, how well they understood its human position? Northside, Neil.
Yeats.
No. Huntsville, do you have a response? Huntsville, Brandy.
Whittier.
No. W.H. Auden. Next toss-up, besides Timothy McVeigh, who is the other man? Northside, Evan.
Nichols.
Yes, next toss-up. What country's revolution bankrupted France and created a situation? Huntsville, Carey.
United States.
Yes, next toss-up. What is the relative minor key to D major? Northside, Neil.
D major is going to be...
Answer, please.
A minor.
No. Huntsville, do you have a... Huntsville, Brandy.
C minor.
No, B minor. Next toss-up. This is computational. What is the degree of a polynomial whose third derivative has degree 2? Northside, Neil.
4th degree.
No. Huntsville, do you have a response? Huntsville, Brandy.
5th degree.
5. Yes. Next toss-up. What unit of measurement is defined as 1/12, the mass of a carbon-12 atom? Northside, Neil.
Atomic mass unit, or AMU.
Yes. Next toss-up. What is the outermost satellite of Saturn? Northside, Neil.
Titan.
No. Huntsville, do you have a response? No response from Huntsville. Caliban. Caliban. Next toss-up. What group of Goths had a name which meant Huntsville, Nathan?
Visigoths.
Repeat.
Visigoths.
No. Let me complete for Northside, which meant East Goths. Northside, Daniel.
Ostrogoths.
Ostrogoths. Yes, that is the final question of the fourth quarter of play. That brings us to the end of this game, a game well played by both teams. Final score, Huntsville 155 points, Northside 275. And we'll continue with our next game in just a few minutes.
Of course, you're watching us live, but there's been an awful lot of activity going on around here earlier today with earlier matches, and we'd like you to take a look at some of them that were taped earlier today. You know, you've been watching some of Arkansas's best and brightest students at work. Just an example of the kinds of things that are going on in Arkansas classrooms every day. And educators have always told us that the best students have their parents behind them. And we have lots of parents here tonight. And I have two parents in particular. Their son, Shane, has been competing in the Quiz Bowl, the Atkinsons. Tell me, what has it been like around your house getting ready for this?
Well, there's lots of studying that goes on, and I get pretty excited about it the morning of it, and all load up on a bus and take off.
Well, you know, earlier today we had someone tell us that the kids, some of them are walking around with this information in their heads. Is Shane that kind of a guy?
Spouts it off daily, all the time.
Mr. Encyclopedia, is he?
That's pretty well the way it is, yes.
Yeah. Was he a little bit nervous going into it?
Just a little bit, but he doesn't get real nervous. He just gets up there and does it.
Yeah, mark of a good student. And we've had students in the past as well. You know, this has been going on for 14 years. We'd like to take a look back at where those students are now, some of them from Berryville. And we're back for the final round, Northside, and being joined by them are the Benton students. I'd like to reintroduce them. You met them earlier today. Stephen Delassus is a senior. He will attend the University of Arkansas this fall on a Chancellor's Scholarship, and he'll major in computer systems. He's captain of his school tennis team, and he is an Eagle Scout. The team captain is Jonathan Kelly, who's a junior who plans to pursue a career in financial consulting. He enjoys fly fishing, surfing the web, and hanging out with his friends. Spencer Watson is also a junior. He enjoys reading, contemplating his philosophy of life, and delving into theology. Also on the Benton team, Lisa Peterson, a junior, plans to attend college and pursue a career in biology or perhaps medicine. She serves as a volunteer counselor at day camp each summer. Lisa enjoys going to the movies, hiking, and reading. And finally, our alternate, Marshall Johnson, is a senior at Benton. He plans to attend the University of Houston in the fall and major in pre-law. He enjoys playing basketball and golf, and he is a beginning bungee jumper. That always throws me for a loop. Now back to our quizmaster.
All right, thank you, Margaret. Who will the 1998 Arkansas Quiz Bowl champions be? We're just minutes from finding that out as we get ready to play this game between Benton and Northside. Good luck to both teams. First quarter of play, toss-ups only. First toss-up question. This is a computation. Solve the following equation. X squared minus 6x plus 9 equals 0. Northside, Kai.
3.
Yes, next toss-up. What mountain range is located in northwestern Africa? Northside, Evan.
Atlas.
Yes, next toss-up. Which Ibsen play features Krogstad and the Helmers? Northside, Neil.
Hedda Gabler.
No, let me complete for Benton. Nora and Torvald, and is considered to be the first play concerning women's liberation. Benton, Lisa.
A Doll's House.
Yes, next toss-up. Who was the first black man to earn a doctorate degree at Harvard? Northside, Daniel.
Du Bois.
Yes, W.E. Du Bois. Next toss-up. What river in Judea is the site where Jesus... Northside, Daniel.
Jordan.
Yes, next toss-up. Which principle states that a system in equilibrium will... Northside, Neil.
Le Chalier.
Yes.
Done.
Next toss-up. In what Broadway musical based on stories by Sholem Aleichem does Tevye, the dairyman, ask God why he's not a rich man? Benton, Jonathan.
J.B.
No. Northside, do you have a response? Northside, Daniel.
Arabian Nights.
No, it's Fiddler on the Roof. Fiddler on the Roof. Next toss-up. What term refers to a water-transmitting rock body? Benton, Jonathan.
Aqueous.
Repeat, please.
Aqueous.
No. Northside, do you have a response? Northside, Daniel.
Aquifer.
Yes. Next toss-up. This is a computation. What is 10% of 19? Northside, Evan.
1.9.
Yes. Next toss-up. Identify the Scotsman who discovered the Zambezi River in Africa. Benton. Jonathan.
Livingston.
Repeat, please.
Livingston.
Judges. All right. Yes. Next toss-up. Who wrote the work Auld Lang Syne? Northside, Daniel.
Burns.
Yes. Next toss-up. Who is the inventor of the safety pin? Benton. Lisa.
Hunt.
Yes. Next toss-up. To which country do the Falkland Islands belong? Northside, Daniel.
Argentina.
Yes. Next toss-up. This is computational. What is the area of a triangle with a base of 6 and a height of 4? Northside, Kai.
12.
Yes. Next toss-up. What art movement takes its name from the French word for wild? Benton, Lisa.
Fauvism.
Yes. Next toss-up. What term coined by Gertrude Stein referred? Benton, Jonathan.
Lost generation.
Yes. Next toss-up. What was the nationality of the romantic composer Berlioz? Northside, Daniel.
French.
Yes. Next toss-up. Editor of the National Observer from 1889 to 1894. Who was the author of Invictus? Northside, Daniel.
Henley.
Yes. Next toss-up. Which Spanish minister negotiated a treaty with John Quincy Northside Evan? Answer, please.
No answer.
No answer. Let me complete for Benton. Giving Florida and all Spanish possession in the Pacific Northwest to the United States in return, Benton, Lisa.
Onus.
Yes, Onus. Next toss-up. What Maryland statute of 1649 granted Northside, Neil?
Statute of Religious Tolerance.
Repeat, please.
Statute of Religious Tolerance.
Judges. All right, that's not close enough. Benton, do you have a response? Benton Stevens.
Statute of religious toleration?
No, the answer is act of toleration. Act of toleration. And that's the end of the first quarter of play. At the end of the first quarter, the score stands 120 points for Northside, 60 points for Benton. And if there are no substitutions or challenges, it looks like we need to pause for just a moment while one of the coaches confers with his team. We're going to continue now with the second quarter of play. Teams, you know the second quarter is made up of toss-up questions and bonus questions for those who answer their toss-ups correctly. First toss-up. Born in 1882, what American artist created the work Nighthawks? Northside, Daniel.
Hopper.
Yes, and you have earned for your team a bonus. Your category is American authors. Identify the American authors who created the following characters. Dr. Will Kennicott.
It's Lewis.
Lewis.
Yes, Atticus Finch.
Atticus Finch is Harper Lee.
Lee.
Yes, Joe Christmas.
Faulkner.
Faulkner.
Yes, Willie Stark.
It's Warren. Robert Penn Warren.
Warren.
Yes. Next toss-up. What 1571 battle, the last great battle fought? Benton, Stephen.
Battle of Lepanto.
Yes, and you have earned for your team a bonus. Your bonus category is phylums. Given a member of the animal kingdom, identify the phylum to which it belongs. Kodiak bear.
Chordata.
Yes, fiddler crab.
Arthropoda.
Arthropoda.
Yes, starfish.
Echinodermata.
Echinodermata.
Yes, man of war.
Nodaria.
Nodaria.
Yes. You've answered all four correctly. Next toss-up. Born in Ohio as Chloe Anthony Wofford, what first African-American to win the Nobel Prize for Literature? Northside, Daniel.
Gwendolyn Brooks.
No, let me complete, please, for Benton. Wrote the Song of Solomon. Benton, Jonathan.
Toni Morrison.
Toni Morrison, and you have earned another bonus for your team. What did the question say?
First.
For what award?
Nobel Prize.
Did not say Nobel. Gwendolyn Brooks won the first Nobel.
However, born in Ohio as Chloe Anthony Wolford.
But.
And that would be a good question because if they have false facts put together, she's run out.
Right.
Yeah, let him
All right, we are returning live here at the AETN studios. We had to work out a possible challenge, but we are ready to proceed with the bonus question. Your bonus is musical works. Given the title of a musical work, identify its composer. Israel in Egypt.
Handel.
Handel.
Yes. Der Rosenkavalier.
Richard Strauss.
Richard Strauss.
Yes. Symphony number 3 in A minor.
Haydn.
No. Trout Quintet.
Schubert.
Schubert.
Yes. The symphony number 3 in A minor is Mendelssohn. And our next toss-up is, what French author associated with the existentialist Benton, Jonathan? Answer, please.
Camus.
Yes, Camus. And you have earned another bonus for your team. Your category this time is Russian history. Identify the following from Russian history. First Tsar of all the Russias.
Ivan the Terrible.
Yes. First Romanov Tsar.
Nicholas I.
No. Leader of an 18th century revolt by Russian peasants.
Pugachev.
Yes. A two-word term for the facades erected by an assistant of Catherine the Great in order to mislead the Austrian Emperor Joseph II. Answer, please.
No answer.
No answer?
Okay, cool.
That would be the Potemkin village, and the first Tsar of all Russias. You got that one. Which other one did they miss? They didn't get that one.
Michael, I guess.
Yes, first Romanov Tsar is Michael Romanov. You didn't get that one. All right, that was the fourth bonus, so that brings us to the end of the second quarter of play, and at the end of the second quarter, the score stands, and this is a close game, 135 points for Benton, 150 points for Northside. We're going to pause in a moment, but first let me give the three categories that our players will choose from when we resume play with the third quarter. The three categories are science formulas. Given a formula, give the law or unit associated with it. Shakespearean quotes. Given a quote from a Shakespearean play, identify the play from which it is taken. Or all about the Gilded Age. Identify each of these people who are associated with the Gilded Age. As our teams consider which category to choose, we'll pause.
you imagine doing this kind of thing with teenagers and not feeding them? Wouldn't happen. So some things have been taken care of, and we'd like to thank some people who helped us. Several Arkansas businesses have generously donated food for our Quiz Bowl participants, and we'd like to take a moment to recognize them. Morrilton Packing Food donated Petty Jean luncheon meat. Colonial Bread donated wheat and white bread. And Frito-Lay Incorporated donated their newest product, the Wild Dorito Corn Chips, to round out the meal. McKee Foods Corporation and Gentry donated their signature product, Little Debbie Snack Cakes. And Walmart of Conway donated a vegetable tray. Lots of pizza as well. Mazzio's Pizza, Pizza Inn, and Pizza for Less, all of Conway, donated pizzas, and Brave New Restaurant and Little Rock donated fruit. The teams also enjoyed treats from Yarnell's Ice Cream and Tender Popped Popcorn, and refreshments were provided by RC Cola and Mountain Valley Spring Water. So we'd like to thank all of them for donating. Now, if you look around here, you might think that some of us are just a little bit underdressed. I have some special friends. I'd like for them to stand up for me here. Now, these are students from Benton High School, and they are on their way where?
Prom.
And why are you dressed like this, and why are you here instead of at your prom?
Watch Steven and the Benton High School Quiz Bowl team win.
Okay, so that would explain why Steven on the Benton team is wearing a tuxedo. Where's his date? Let's get her over here. All right, so you have prom night and the Quiz Bowl. What do you think you're going to remember most 20 years from now about your prom night?
That we did both in one night so that Steven could enjoy both things.
All right, I think that's wonderful support from all of your friends, and when you go out, you'll have a good time tonight. I hope you have a wonderful time at your prom. All right, thanks for being here, and we'll be back in just a moment.
It happens every day and night. It doesn't stop when you graduate or reach a certain age. We are all of us learning even now. You see something unexpected, and you let it take you to a new place. It's not important to understand fully, but just to see. Some call it education, but that's only a word. You see something in a person's face, you hear their story, and that teaches you all that they struggle to learn. Maybe you're just remembering something you knew all along, but forgot. It could be we're here solely to remind each other what must not be missed or ignored, but celebrated and finally known. When do we stop learning? Maybe never.
In Chinese medicine, that the body has to move.
And we're back with the third quarter of play. The score 135 points for Benton and 150 points for Northside. A very close game indeed. Benton, let me again give you the three categories from which you may choose: science formulas, Shakespearean quotes, or all about the Gilded Age. Which one would you like to play from?
I'll take the Gilded Age.
The Gilded Age. Gilded Age it is. Identify each of these people who are associated with the Gilded Age. Start the clock. Democratic presidential candidate who lost the disputed election of 1876.
Tilden.
Tilden.
Yes. Corrupt politicians in New York named after a political boss.
Boston.
Tweetering.
Yes. Cartoonist whose Tammany Tiger helped break up this political group.
Nast.
Yes. The author of the book that named the age.
Mark Twain.
Mark Twain.
Yes. The leader of the stalwart Republicans.
Pass.
Republican presidential candidate who lost the disputed election of 1876.
Tilden. Oh, right.
Hayes.
Yes. Republican who opposed James G. Blaine in the election of 1844.
1845.
Polk.
No. Elected president in 1880, assassinated in 1881.
Garfield.
Garfield.
Yes. Leader of the half-breed, and that we're out of time on that one. All right, judges, I have that they answered correctly 1, 2, 3, 4, and turned over number 5, and number 7. Is that correct?
Answered 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 8.
1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 8 correctly, yes, and turned over 5 and 7.
That's right.
So Northside will get the opportunity to respond to these two. Identify each of these people who are associated with the Gilded Age. The leader of the stalwart Republicans.
Conklin.
Repeat.
Conklin.
Judges, no, that's not close enough. And the next one, Republicans who opposed James G. Blaine in the election of 1844.
Oh, that's mugwumps.
Mugwumps.
Yes, that is correct. You were very close on the other one. It's Roscoe Boss Conking.
No, it's Conklin. We have documentation for it.
All right, that's a typo. So they get that one. So you got them both. All right, and it's your turn now to choose from the two remaining categories.
We would like Shakespeare quotes, please.
Thank you. Shakespearean quotes it is. Given a quote from a Shakespearean play, identify the play from which it is taken, start the clock. The first thing we do, let's kill all the lawyers.
Henry the Sixth.
Henry the Sixth.
Yes, now is the winter of our discontent, made glorious summer by the sun of
Richard
York.
III.
Richard III.
Yes, kiss me, Kate. We will be married on Sunday.
Taming of the Shrew.
Yes, true, I talk of dreams which are the children of an idle brain, begot of nothing but vain fantasy.
Hamlet.
No, the devil can cite scripture for his purpose.
Anything much in that?
Macbeth.
Macbeth.
No, the blessed plot, this earth, this realm,
Richard
this
II.
England.
Richard II.
Yes, Lord, what fools these mortals be.
Midsummer Night's Dream.
Yes, the better part of valor is discretion.
Henry IV.
Yes, uneasy lies the head that wears the crown.
Crown.
Macbeth? Or King Lear?
King Lear.
King Lear.
No, 9 seconds.
The last one?
Answer, please.
King Lear.
No, if music be the food of love, play on.
Twelfth Night.
Yes. All right, judges, I have that they've turned over numbers 4, 5, and 9. Is that correct? All right. So, Benton, you get the opportunity, given a quote from a Shakespearean play, identify the play from which it is taken. True, I talk of dreams which are the children of an idle brain, begot of nothing but vain fantasy.
Romeo and Juliet.
Yes. The devil can cite scripture for his purpose.
Much Ado About Nothing.
No. Uneasy lies the head that wears the crown.
Macbeth.
No. The devil can cite scripture is from The Merchant of Venice. Uneasy lies the head that wears the crown from Henry IV, Part 2. And that completes the third quarter of play, the lightning round. We will pause for a moment. It appears that there's going to either be a challenge or a substitution. I'm waiting for an official word from... All right, we've simply solved the case of the missing S and the missing A, the result of 2 challenges, and that means we're going to ask 2 questions to both teams. The first question will go to Benton's team. If your question is, Vice President who succeeded Garfield.
Arthur.
Yes, Arthur. You got that correct? And then to answer the second challenge, Northside apparently left A off Midsummer Night's Dream when they responded on Shakespearean quotes. So Northside, we're going to give you a new question.
No. That question shouldn't go to them.
Judges, I need a ruling on who the second question goes to.
Second question, because it is part of their third round. They get the question up.
It was Northside.
And the reason is because we did not ask for him to give more. It's because it's our mistake. We're doing a whole new question.
All right. The ruling has been made clear, teams, by the judges. The call was not made at the time the answer was given. Therefore, Northside gets a new question. Your question is, what 20th century American playwright wrote The Sandbox and The American Dream?
Yes, Albee.
Albee. All right. That clears up our third quarter of play. The score at the end of the third quarter, 215 points for Benton, 250 points for Northside. It is a very close game as we go into the fourth and final quarter of play. We're ready now to move into the fourth quarter. First, toss-up. Who was Andrew Jackson, Secretary of the Treasury? Villapon. Northside.
Ben Barron.
No. Benton, do you have a response? Benton Stephen.
Daniel Webster.
No. Roger B. Tunney. Next toss-up. What poet whose goodbye to all that... Northside, Daniel.
Graves.
Yes. Next toss-up. Who invented the steamboat? Benton, Lisa.
Fulton.
No. Northside, do you have a response? Northside, Neil. Oh, yes, that is correct. Yes, my mistake. Next toss-up. What author wrote To His Coy Mistress? Benton, Jonathan.
Andrew Marvell.
Yes, next toss-up. This is a computation. What is 4 factorial? Northside, Neil.
120.
No. Benton, do you have a response? Benton, Stephen.
24.
24. Next toss-up. What leader of barbarian troops in the West Roman army led the revolt which overthrew Romulus? Northside, Evan.
Spartacus.
No, let me complete for Benton. Romulus Augustulus in 476 A.D. Benton, Spencer.
Odoacer.
Yes, that is correct. Next toss-up. What Croatian scientist discovered the boundary between Earth's crust and mantle? Northside, Evan.
Mohorovic.
Yes, next toss-up. What winner of the 1996 Nobel Prize in Literature wrote poetry collections such as Salt, No End of Fun, and The End and the Beginning? Benton, Jonathan.
Silverstein.
No. Northside, you have Northside, Evan.
Poe.
No. The answer is Szymborska. Next toss-up. How many valence electrons does an atom of strontium have? Northside, Neil.
3.
No. Benton. You have a response. Benton, Spencer.
2.
2. Yes. Yes. Next toss-up. What is the 2-word term for a jury that cannot reach a verdict? Benton, Jonathan.
Hung jury.
Yes. Next toss-up. Name the composer whose works include The Girl of the Golden West. Northside, Daniel.
Rossini.
No. Let me complete for Benton and La Boheme. Benton, Lisa.
Puccini.
Yes. Next toss-up. What type of RNA viruses contain the enzyme? Benton, Jonathan.
Retroviruses.
Yes. Next toss-up. What term is defined as the point at which the vapor pressure of a liquid... Northside, Neil.
The boiling point.
Yes. Next toss-up. Basal cell carcinoma is the most common form of what? Benton, Lisa.
Skin cancer.
Yes. Next toss-up. How many degrees are in 1 octant? Northside, Neil.
360.
No. Benton, do you have a response? Benton, Stephen.
80.
No. 45 degrees. Next toss-up. What name is given to the fierce winds that sweep across the continent? Benton, Stephen.
Doldrums.
No. Let me complete for Northside, the continent of Antarctica. Northside, Neil.
Australis winds.
No, the answer is catabic winds. Next toss-up. From the Latin for my lady, what term is used? Benton, Jonathan.
Le dame.
Repeat, please.
Le dame.
Judges, I didn't hear.
It's probably wrong.
Repeat one more time.
Les Dames.
No. Let me complete. For Northside, what term is used for the Virgin Mary and is included within the title of many works of art? Northside, Neil.
Pieta.
No. Madonna.
That's right.
Madonna.
Yeah.
Next toss-up. In what quadrant would an angle be if sine theta is positive and cosine theta? Northside, Daniel. Answer, please.
Second.
Yes. Next toss-up. How many liters does 1 mole of oxygen fill at standard Benton? Jonathan.
22.414.
Yes. Next toss-up. This is computation. What is the base 2 number 10101011 in base 10? Northside, Neil.
83.
No. Benton, do you have a response? Benton, Stephen.
191.
No, the answer is 171. That's the last question of the fourth quarter and brings us to the end of the game. And at the end of the game, the score is 315 points for Benton, 280 points for Northside. Excellent game.
Stephen, can we get the captain over here for just a second? Jonathan, where's our captain, Jonathan? All right, you look pretty happy. How's it feel to be the winner?
It feels really good. I feel great.
What was the hardest part?
The work, just staying focused throughout the year, going through the tough times, and knowing that if we kept working that we could get it done.
Well, you know, I see a little bit of angst and anxiety here. You know, you're kind of tense. How would you describe what this day has been like?
It's been fun. It's been kind of a roller coaster, but it's been awesome. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's been great.
All right. Well, we're happy for you and congratulations.
Thanks.
All right. And we'll be back in just a moment.
Today, you have become teachers. In your hands is our nation's most precious resource, our future. Yet before you can teach a single lesson, you will have to accomplish something far more difficult. You will have to inspire. It is not enough simply to make someone learn. You must make them want to learn. This is your challenge today, tomorrow, and for as long as the eyes of the young look up to you.
There's hardly a job on earth that asks more of a person. All we ask of you is to help us give them some tools to do it.
We'll be studying tornadoes. Please open your workbooks to chapter 3, page 21.
And we have some special people I'd like you to meet tonight. You've already met Bill Becker and Ms. Howarth with AETN. My boss is here, Ray Simon. He's the director of the Department of Education. And Mr. Simon, I believe you have something special.
Thank you, Margaret. I do. The Hennessy Foundation in Fort Smith, Arkansas, recently introduced a challenge grant of $5,000 to assist the Arkansas Governor's Quiz Bowl Association. Governor Mike Huckabee has released $5,000 from his discretionary fund to match that pledge. Pocahontas Savings and Loan, headquartered in Pocahontas, has also pledged $1,000 toward that challenge. These funds will be used to award scholarships to the top 4 teams here today. They will also be used to cover some of the expenses to send the top team to the Tournament of Champions in Chicago and to send an all-star team to the Panasonic Academic Challenge competition in Orlando, Florida. Governor Mike Huckabee, it has been my privilege to work for him for the last 7 months as director of the Department of Education, and he has certainly issued a challenge to all of Arkansas to improve education and to help showcase the types of scholarship opportunities and challenges that we've seen here tonight. And so on behalf of the governor, I would like to present you with a check for $5,000 to help continue the competition and to send our students victory in Chicago. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We surely need it.
Thank you, Mr. Simon. The Arkansas Governor's Quiz Bowl Association is a member association of the Arkansas Activities Association, which sanctions this event. Each student competing in today's tournament has been named to an academic all-star team by reaching this level of competition and will receive official state certificates stating this accomplishment. The Quiz Bowl Association and the Activities Association will recognize one of these players as the most valuable player, and they will receive a specially designed trophy and a medallion. Officials of this tournament will also select an all-star team, which consists of 5 players, which can come from any of the 40 teams reaching the state classification level tournaments. They will represent Arkansas at the Panasonic competition in Orlando, Florida in June. Each of the final 4 team members will receive a cash scholarship award. In addition, the first place team will travel to Chicago to compete in the Tournament of Champions in June. And now again, Ray Simon, Director of the Arkansas Department of Education, Susan Howarth, AETN's Executive Director, and Bill Becker, Association President, will present the awards.
Thank you very much. Today we'd like to first begin with the awarding of the trophies for our third place winners. And if you were watching earlier, you know we had some terrific matches, and the winners of the third place trophies are Rural Special School District and Huntsville. First, we'd like to give the award to the captain of the Rural Special Team, Slate Chisholm. Slate, congratulations. I bet you all were pretty excited to be here today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Congratulations. You all did a great job, and maybe you'll be back next year.
Gonna try.
Okay. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
And we'd also like to award a third place trophy to Captain Nathan Sharp from Huntsville. Nathan? Nathan, was this your first trip to AETN and to the Quiz Bowl finals?
No, I was here last year, too.
So you're an old pro at this.
I guess.
That's right. Well, congratulations. You did a great job.
Thanks.
Thank you. Ray, why don't you do the second place?
Thank you. Well, we've just witnessed an exciting competition between the last 2 teams in this event, and recognizing the second place team from Fort Smith, Evan McLemore.
Oh. Evan, congratulations. And now we have the pleasure of presenting the first place trophy for this year's Quiz Bowl, and it goes to the team from Benton, and here to receive the trophy is Jonathan Kelly. Jonathan? Congratulations. That's terrific. Congratulations. Congratulations. Oh, did we do, okay, we need to do second place. I'm sorry. We need to, MVP, that's right. We want to go ahead and present the Most Valuable Player Award. Go ahead.
And finally, the young man, congratulations. This is Daniel Hazeman of Fort Smith Northside. And Daniel, as Most Valuable Player, you receive a trophy, first of all, for your mantle, and then also a ribbon commemorating the event. Congratulations to you.
Congratulations. We're going to go back over to Margaret, and we hope that all of our viewers will join us again next year for next year's Quiz Bowl on AETN. Back to Margaret.
Thank you, Susan. You know, we have to congratulate all of these kids. They all did such a wonderful job.
Yes, they did.
And you did a good job as well.
Well, thank you, Margaret.
You're a wonderful quiz master.
I really enjoy being here and having the opportunity to work with these wonderful, wonderful young people.
Yeah, it makes you want to brush up on a little bit of everything,
Oh, it sure
does.
It helps you realize just how much you don't know.
Exactly, and it also shows what a good job is going on, what good work is going on in Arkansas classrooms all over the country. This couldn't happen if they weren't having good teachers.
Absolutely. I think our public schools just don't get enough credit, and they certainly deserve a lot of credit for the good work they do.
I agree. One more hand for the teachers and for the students as well. And we thank you for joining us. We hope to see you again next year.
Thank you.